I was contacted, I think it was 2 days ago, by one of my subscribers who is a big fan of yours, and she said, you need to get Susan on the podcast. You've got to speak to her because she's got a really wide spectrum of interest. She said you've got a really wide spectrum of interest. She said you can discuss anything with her from space. So let's talk about space and stocks. So you have quite a wide variety of topics that you like discussing. Am I right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know where that came from. Maybe because of the content. Because I basically, with experience of preparing for Cambridge and IELTS and everything, you definitely know like the range of topics that the students have to know. So I just decided to go bit by bit, like every once in a while, 2 or 3 weeks, we take one topic and then I find different materials to support it. And this is where it came from. And one of the first topics was probably space. The thing is, but I mean, it was space just for fun, and because Elon Musk has done something again at the time, so it was quite timely, but basically, I'm a fan of space myself. In terms of exam, it was more about, like, of course, science and technology and how should we invest into it or should we not. But yeah, I'm kind of versatile. I don't know. Basically, because I teach. I teach English for sure, but I also teach at university, so I teach different specialities. So what do you call it? Like to different majors. I mean, like I teach the physicists, so I have this skill. I have to know the physics. I teach at Joint Institute for Nuclear Research, so that's why I have like some basic knowledge of nuclear.
You check out my tattoo. Do you recognize it?
Wow, that's a long one. Wow, it's a solar system, isn't it?
It is, but do you recognize where it's from? This thing here?
Oh, where is it? Is it from a book? No,
it's from Voyager. So
Voyager, right? Oh, wow, lovely.
For guys who are listening who don't know, there were 2 probes sent up in the 1970s. I think it was 1976, 1978. I may be wrong about that.
It was about the time, yeah.
Voyagers 1 and 2. Voyager 2 is actually further away from Earth than Voyager 1 is at the moment, even though it was launched afterwards.
And you know, they finally restored the connection with one of the Voyagers, because there was something in the news recently, like the one which is the furthest, they kind of lost connection. They were trying, and it took them like 6 or 7 months, and very recently, like about 2 weeks ago or something, they just finally restored the connection. I can't believe it's mind-blowing. I mean, I can't even imagine where it is now, and they somehow have connection.
Yeah. It's mad. And if you go online and type into Google, where is Voyager now, and you can see the coordinates of where it is in the solar system, and you can see how many miles or how many kilometers it is from the sun or from the Earth, and you look at the numbers, it's just going like that. It's like the national debt counter. It's unbelievable. Going like just hundreds of kilometers a second.
I should definitely check that out. I know that you can see where ISS is, like, and sometimes spot it above your house, but I didn't know about the Voyager. Oh, so sweet.
An interesting thing about ISS, and I don't know, this may be an apocryphal story, it may be kind of made-uppy, but I heard that when they were building, because obviously it was a joint Russian and American project, when they were building it, there was going to be 2 separate modules, one built by the Russians and one built by the Americans, and they had to assemble it in space, and one had to build a female part and one had to build a male part, but neither country wanted to be the female part, so they had to completely redesign.
Oh my!
It's
seriously?
So pathetic, isn't it?
No kidding.
They had to redesign it so that it was like one of these things, like a tow hitch, like on a car.
Yeah. Okay.
So no one wanted to get ridden in space, which is fair enough. But yeah, for basically on Voyager there was, as you know, there's a golden record attached, as in like a vinyl record, but made of gold, obviously.
Yeah.
And on the record there's all sorts of recordings from Earth, the sound of a human voice, the sound of our music, of this and that. And there's also inscribed, as well as instructions on how to play the record, there's a map of our solar system. So obviously these are the planets right here. Sorry for people who are listening to the audio version of this right now, but go on YouTube. So you've got obviously the planets, here's us, and here's the asteroid belt, and this is our sun. So the idea is that The sun is in the middle right here, and these different lines indicate the location of different pulsars.
Yeah,
So a pulsar is a type of neutron star, as you know, of course, which spins on its axis and emits, I think it's X-rays, is it, at a very regular interval, which means that it's almost like a beacon, like a flash.
Yeah, exactly. You can read it.
Yeah, precisely. Now, I don't have this detail on my.
Oh, this one is very detailed already, I must say.
But there's another thing.
Incredible.
Basically, it looks like, I'll just draw like a quick thing.
We're
So
like a bunch
something like that, which is two circles, and then there's some sort of binary code in the middle. Basically, any sort of advanced alien civilization that ever found that, they would hopefully would understand that that's two hydrogen atoms, and the way that if two hydrogen atoms bind, the shared electron that they have, it moves in between the two atoms at a very predictable speed, which is obviously how atomic clocks work, because it happens at a very predictable rate. And so using that, they could extrapolate the scale of the map. So they can figure out how many kilometers.
Right. Oh, wow. That's
the
nice.
version of kilometers is. They could figure out how to get to our planet, which Stephen Hawking said was probably the worst idea we've ever had, because, you know, we may have invited a bunch of predators to Earth.
Yeah, probably. I knew the stuff about sounds, and I didn't know the and coordinates. I didn't know how the measurements. Well, that's nice. I should read that.